It's Wednesday, January 27th.
Oh my god, you guys, 6 days to Lost, 6 days to Lost, 6 days to Lost.
And you're watching The Great Lost Rewatch. Today we're talking about Some Like It Hoth. I know I did this in my last video, but I want to rewind again. It's not even to do something humble like apologize, it's to brag. When I was watching Dead is Dead for the first time and the scene where Ben goes to the temple to be judged or whatever, I turned to my friends and I said, "Friends, that is not John Locke." And then the season 5 finale happened and I'm like, yes, I was right! I'm never right. Anyway, today's episode, Some Like It Hoth. This is a Miles-centric episode. We first join him when he is a little kid and he stumbles upon a dead body in an apartment and he says, "Body's talking to me, I can still hear it." We then join Miles in what is obviously his rebellious phase because he has this spiky hair and all these piercings. He kind of looks like he did in X-Men 3. His mother is dying and he asks her, "Where is my father?" And she says that he's been dead a long time and his body is somewhere where you can never go. Want to bet? Then we jump to a job that Miles is doing. This guy wants him to communicate with his dead son, whose son was cremated, and it only works if you have a body, but the guy is kind of insistent that Miles at least try, so they just kind of hold hands and kumbaya. Naomi shows up and says that your unique services are required. Naomi then invites Miles to go on the freighter expedition. Miles at first says, "No way," and then Naomi says, "We can offer you $1.6 million, and Miles is like, "When do we leave?" Then Miles is out getting a fish taco, and he is abducted. There's a group of people in this van, but the only one we get to talk to is named Bran. They're trying to convince Miles not to go work for Mr. Whitmore, and then ask him what lies in the shadow of the statue.
No, can't say that I do.
Then you're not ready to go to that island.
They dump him out on the curbside and say, "You're playing for the wrong team." On the island, Sawyer wants Miles to erase the tapes in camera number 4 because that's damning evidence. But before Miles can complete this task, Horace comes in looking for LaFleur. Horace says, "Okay, this falls to you, Miles. Can I bring you into the circle of trust? I need you to go to Rosinski and he's gonna give you something and I need you to bring it back here, no questions asked." The special delivery is a dead body. He takes the body back to Horace, who in turn wants him to turn around and take it to Pierre Chang at the organ. Hurley also needs to go to the organ, so he tags along with sandwiches, and he has this notebook and he's writing in it. Hurley smells something really bad in the van and discovers the dead body. Miles says that this guy was working at a construction site and his tooth started to hurt and then his filling was yanked out through his head, so it's not a bullet wound, that is a tooth exit. Hurley asks Miles how he knows this and Miles isn't saying anything and Hurley's like, "Oh, you talk to dead people, right on, me too." Back in Darmaville, Roger Linus has discovered that his son has been taken. Naturally, he goes and gets drunk, and Kate goes to try and comfort him. Kate, seriously, why can't you just keep your flippin' mouth shut? Miles and Hurley reach the orchid station and Pierre Chang is really upset that Hurley is there saying, "You better keep your mouth shut or it's polar bear poop for you." Hurley says, "Dude, that guy is a douche." And Miles is like, "Yeah, that douche is my dad." We all kind of saw that coming, no? Hurley is trying his best to help Miles and his dad bond.
I have a 3-month-old son.
What's his name?
Miles.
Small world. That's your name too, right, Miles?
We get to the construction site. There's these construction workers putting the serial number on a hatch lid, and it turns out that they are building the Swan Station. Miles and Hurley are driving back to New Otherton, and Hurley is trying to talk to Miles about his daddy issues, and Miles wants none of it. So instead, he turns the tables and grabs this secret notebook that Hurley's been writing in all day.
Chewbacca. Rawr.
Hurley was writing the screenplay to Empire Strikes Back. And then Hurley speaks the universal truth.
Ewoks suck, dude.
Sawyer is getting home from a very long day, and then Phil comes up and says, "Hey, I know who took little Ben. You did," and he shows the tape from camera 4. Sawyer says to Phil, "There's a perfectly good explanation, why don't you come inside and I'll tell you," and then he punches him in the face. Miles is walking through New Otherton and he sees Pierre Chang reading a book to his 3-month-old self. How weird would that be? Pierre Chang gets a phone call, leaves his house, and sees Miles and says, "Hey, give me a ride, I gotta pick up some scientists from Ann Arbor." And one of the scientists turns out to be...
Long time no see.
Daniel Faraday's come back! Hooray! I missed him. Actually, this will end up not being a good thing for Dan ultimately. It kind of leads to his death. Yay. Liz, you're talking about the variable tomorrow, which I think is adorable, by the way, because I did the constant and you're doing the variable.
We're gonna need to watch that again.
I apologize for my incredibly weird behavior in this video. I think it has something to do with the fact that the season 6 premiere of Lost is less than a week away.